Hello and welcome to Greenville, North Carolina for Gatekeeper and Heiser Media's combined coverage of the Down East Players Cup presented by Basket Bashers. Thank you to Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply for making this coverage possible. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Dan Brooks Wells. Who do we have on our card today, Dan?
Hey, what's going on, guys? We have world champ Paige Shue from Charlotte, North Carolina at -2. Also at -2, we have Holly Finley from Bell Buckle, Tennessee. We have Irina Shakhova from Ontario, Canada, sitting at even par. And last but not least, we have Megan Goldsby from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, sitting at 2 over par.
Should be a good card for round 2. We are over at the ECU Purple Course. Jumping into hole 1 is a par 3 at 345 feet. Most players are going to be trying to throw a hyzer with a little bit of finish to the left and hopefully get yourself a birdie look. But as you can see by Paige's hair, it was a super windy day.
Wind is one of the most difficult elements, in my opinion, to play in. It just wreaks havoc on the flights of your discs, but not for Paige, apparently.
Yeah, that was a great shot. That must have been a super overstable disc because we had a really strong left to right wind on this hole. So it was hard to get almost anything to fade. This was a very common result. Anything that got to Anheuser just flipped and turned and never came back.
Yeah, and we know Holly likes to throw those hyzer flips, so we'll see if she chooses a little bit extra stable today.
Irina teeing off next. Never seen her play before, so it'll be interesting to watch her game on this a little more open course. Gets a nice little skip there at the end to give her an outside the circle birdie luck here on hole 1.
Yeah, it seems like the wind just pushed it from just keeping it from skipping over. She's gonna have a tough look at it.
Yeah, and there's that wind.
Megan, you saw her from round 1, earning her way back to the lead card. Solid game, Megan. Nice backhand, nice smooth forehand, and had a couple of tester putts that she was able to drill last round. See if she can keep it going.
Yeah, this is it's gonna be interesting to watch, especially like I said, it was super windy. Every putt was scary outside of like 5 feet. So
Man,
you kind of just had to pick your moments. Like the wind would just gust and just absolutely rip for like 5 seconds, and then it would kind of die down. But it was still kind of constant throughout the whole day. So like putts like this, just like
dropped out of the air.
yeah,
Just dropped.
yeah, just very
Yeah.
hard to commit to.
And you're going to see, like, when you play these kinds of rounds, it's really important to get yourself that tailwind putt. That's what everyone's really trying to do. You know, having a headwind, having a crosswind is just a killer to putt in. So getting that tailwind is really important.
Yeah, we'll see how the players are able to do out here. Hole 1, no surprises. We're looking at a par frame if our last 2 players are able to connect, which is really fine. Scoring conditions are going to be really tough. There's some elevated baskets too on this course, which can make things pretty hairy.
Absolutely. And Holly has that spin putt. I'm wondering how her putting is going to be in this wind. She might be one of the ones who can kind of tear through it a little bit better.
Yeah, we will definitely see as we jump into hole 2 here. It's a par 3, 336. Should be a tailwind for this day. Most players are either going to throw just kind of a straight, slightly turning backhand. If you have a forehand, I think that probably shapes the fairway the best, but really anything you can get going dead straight at 336 is the option, is the play.
Paige is throwing the flex play on this right side. Kicks a tree down early. It's probably going to give her maybe a circle's edge look at it. What do
Yeah,
you
I think those trees are just outside the circle. So yeah, like you said,
Okay.
circle's edge short. Holly also opting for that kind of flex line down the right-hand side. Doesn't quite come out of it, but still a good shot.
Yeah, and it seems like too, when you're playing in wind, you really want to keep the disc low. However, with this type of ground, you get really good ground play. So watch for the players to kind of take advantage of that today.
Really smooth turnover there from Irina, able to keep the disc straight for most of the flight. Looks like she will probably be somewhere in shallow circle 2. And Megan, this line's looking good as well. Fading out a little bit, but still a nice shot. Be a long circle 2 look. Not giving it a bit in this wind. The wind kind of, so on this course,
Okay.
trying to describe it, it's kind of just this like pack of these all these similar pine trees, right? Kind of park style golf. So when you're on the outside of the trees, it's super windy because there's nothing to block it. But when you're inside the trees, they do block a lot of the wind. So it's a lot less gusty. I think Holly's probably going to try to run this putt from circle 2. Oh, heavy chains on the right-hand side
Wow.
there. Really good effort. Oh, and a bit high there from Irina. So as I was saying, it's not, the wind is obviously still present, but it's not quite as bad when you're on the inside of the trees as opposed to the holes that are on the outside of the trees. I don't know if that's a good explanation at all, but just trying to give a
I
little
think it
bit of
is.
perspective.
Yeah, I think it is. I think because right now I don't really see much wind action going on at all, and on the last one you're seeing a ridiculous amount. So yeah, it definitely matters. You might see some of these players run a few more, and other times they're going to lay up.
Yeah. As we head into hole 3, one of those windy holes on the outside of the course that I was speaking of. And guess what? The basket is on a mound. This hole is absolutely terrifying. I saw multiple 3, 4, 5 putts on it during the day. This is one, if you're not 10 feet away, I would suggest laying up because you can get yourself into a lot of trouble if you get too aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, putting on an elevated basket like in a headwind or a crosswind, you kind of have to put the nose up a little bit, or at least flat, with that type of basket, and the wind will just take it and just throw it 30 feet like it's nothing. So, like you said, Nate, getting up on that little mound and just having to dunk in is quite an advantage.
Yeah, even the layups can be tricky on this hole as well. There is also out of bounds behind the basket in that little creek ditch area, so something else to consider.
Irina, I think getting a little bit of fortune there to glance off that tree and kind of swing out there. She'll still have to look up into the basket.
This shot looks really nice from Megan. Gets a full flight out of it. Hopefully that gives her a pretty straightforward pitch up and an easy par. This tricky little upshot here from Irina with a right to left crosswind. Trying to play that ground play.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Look at that disc take off. Hopefully it sat on
What
the
is
backside
happening?
because yeah, this is what the wind was doing. Just you cannot expose the bottom of your disc to the wind on this day because it was just like that putt right there. I might lay it
Can you
up.
run that?
It's a head
That's what I mean.
crosswind. It's a 20-footer. It's absolutely terrifying. So same with that
Even
one.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, Paige
No, she
knows it.
knows it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you can see Holly
This
almost found that out of bounds. Oh my gosh.
is going.
I don't think she was trying to run
Yeah,
that, but
that's
that's just
nuts.
the headwind, just lifting the disc.
She's acting like she's gonna run this. Okay, never mind.
Just
Okay.
taking the time on the layup. I like that. That's
Yeah, I
even
guess
those 5 footers
it
are
just,
scary on this hole. I'll tell you. This is a
at
tailwind
that
for
point,
Holly.
I I think about putting upside down sometimes when you're that close and it's really windy.
Hmm.
It'll just drop a little bit better in my experience. But yeah, look at her. She doesn't.
Yeah,
It's like it goes against what your body wants to do. It wants to run it, right? But you can't.
yeah. Not often you lay up a 20-footer unless it's like to win a tournament, right? So it
Right.
doesn't feel great, especially when it's a par putt too. Like you see that almost blows out. It's insane how windy it is out there. But no, the card played it smart. If you're not in position, just settle for the. Okay, so I think Holly did find the out of
And we
bounds
had
there off the drive.
three. Yeah.
As we jump in here to hole 4 is a par 3 at 267. You can see the basket there. It's just going to kind of play as a straight or hyzer shot into this green. You got a couple trees to miss late in the flight, but the tee is elevated, so it does play slightly downhill. Players should be working with a tailwind here, so if you kind of just go straight at it with a putter or a mid-range, which it looks like that's what Paige has lined up. I love this play.
Go in. Wow.
I mean, can't draw it up much better than that.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I'm sure with the wind, facing certain ways, there are certain holes that these players know that, okay, this one I'm going to go for the two, this one I'm hoping to get a par with my layup. So this seems like one of those ones that you can get your tailwind putt, it's wide open, not that far, you can give yourself a chance.
Yeah, definitely gettable. Nice shot from Irina. See if Megan is able to match. Gonna need some ground play. Yeah, got some of it. Gonna be deep in circle two there.
Holly looked like she's choosing a fairway driver.
Something nice and stable. Ooh, big flare skip though. That's gonna be
Too much.
tester putt.
Just a little too much. Yeah. I'm sure she's not too excited about that one, but
Nice safe layup there from Megan. Let's see if Holly gives this a bid. Should be a mostly tailwind putt. Ooh.
wow.
That looked like a half bid to me. I feel like that looked a lot slower than a normal Holly Finley putt.
Yeah, you just don't want to take the risk of blowing by the basket in this type of wind. Like on a normal day, she blows by the basket, 20 feet, she'll bang that coming back. But I mean, going 25 past in these conditions is risky.
Yeah, not to gloss
Hey, it's just
over
a little
a
high.
great birdie putt from Irina. Any putt you're making outside of 15 feet that looks like a 20, 22 footer is a great is strokes gained. Um, it's a really nice one to pick up there.
Yeah, and puts her back to even.
Yeah, I have a feeling even is going to be a great score with how windy it is. Pretty much any birdies you're able to get on this course are going to feel like a bonus birdie. Couple drop in pars.
Yeah.
As we move on to hole 5, it's par 3 at 247. You can see the basket right there, kind of playing in the same direction as the previous hole. Probably have a tail crosswind for the players. Most of them, I'm thinking, are going to go with just kind of a low skipping hyzer down the right-hand side, hoping to, find their way up into the circle.
This is a nice line, nice hyzer flip.
Yeah, just
Doesn't push left enough.
yeah, never quite got the finish she needed. I guess it's maybe more of a left to right crosswind here. So hard to get the finish that you'd normally like.
Nice. You can see Paige is trying to work a little bit to the left of the basket, give herself that more of that tailwind look. Megan looks like she got over on that one a little bit, but she threw an overstable disc on purpose to get it to work back, and should be an easy up and down from there.
See what Holly goes with here. Thinking probably that same disc she threw on the last hole. Ooh, gets a little bit of flip up out of it this time, but nice
Oh,
late
play, go in!
stability. Oh my gosh. That, I believe, Dan. That looks so good. Wow. What a skip. Fortunate enough that it didn't skip too far past, just kind of a vertical skip, stays inside the circle. Nice pitch up there
Yeah,
from
and
Megan.
played the wind really well. Irina trying to make it back-to-back birdies. That one just drifts a little left for her.
Yeah, it was a tricky headwind putt. So here's Holly after the ace run. Looks like a little wind lull, judging by the flag. She's able to capitalize on it. Nice birdie putt. You'll see it's the basket says hole 6. This is kind of a bit of a safari layout from what I understand. So the basket numbers will not necessarily match to the hole numbers for the entire tournament. So keep that in mind. Nice birdie putt there from Paige. Shue gets herself back to 2 under.
Yeah. And this was the second easiest. The last hole was the easiest. So you got back-to-back holes that you're looking to, I would say, get at least one of these. Oh no.
Just leaves it a bit short. Maybe a little tailwind drop there for Irina. Tough one. Tough one to let slip away, but again, every putt outside of 15 feet is like a tester putt, or maybe even outside of
Yeah.
10 feet within this wind. So you can't expect to make them all. Jumping into hole 6, a par 3, 310 feet. If you have a forehand, that is the play. If not, you're just trying to throw kind of a straight to late drifting backhand. But we have another elevated basket, which can cause some problems on the putting green. So tricky little hole.
What a line.
Yeah, super smooth turnover from Paige.
Might be close enough to run. There's no wind.
Yeah, we'll see when they get up there. This is looking pretty good from Holly, too. It's going to have to sit down. There is OB deep and right of the basket, but nice distance control there, able to check up.
See, and I would think Holly would throw something a little flippier than that, but I think she's just making sure, making sure because of the wind. That's definitely a little bit earlier than what Megan was trying for. It's going to be a tricky upshot from there.
See if Irina can bounce back after that bogey on the last hole. She's got just a little nose up there, leaks out a little left, but hits the gap. Not a bad shot. This is a tricky little approach here from Megan.
Oh, I like the little flex out. Just didn't push it forward enough. The wind's down. I think she might be able to run that one, but we'll see.
We'll see what it's like when they get up to this. Yeah, okay, the wind is not down.
Whoa!
That was a
No, it's
wild
not.
wind lift.
Yeah.
Just sends Irina's disc over the green out of bounds. Yeah, Holly, after seeing that, content to lay up that 40-footer. Megan,
It's just not worth it.
yeah. 2-stroke
It's
swings,
early.
3-stroke swings left and right. Oh, Megan actually giving that a little safe
Ooh,
bid.
I respect it.
You can see that flag just kind of, yep.
Yep.
It sucks, right? Like you
I'm,
can see it in
I'm
Paige's
telling you.
face. Like she wants to run that
Uh,
25, 30 footer so badly, right? Like normally on any other day, she doesn't even think about it, right?
yeah, I mean, normally she's gonna make it too,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Like,
But yeah, you add these crazy gusty winds and some elevated greens, and it really makes you think, makes you yeah, it's just tough.
makes you scared, makes you nervous, makes you question all the practice you put in. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just really hard. It's a different mindset. I mean, really,
Yeah,
you just gotta accept it or don't and risk it.
yeah.
But
It's a lot easier too to lay up the birdie putts than the par putts.
that's fair. That's a fair point.
But well played nonetheless. We jump in here to hole 7, pretty similar shape to hole 6. Kind of a little baby forehand or turnover backhand coming in at 242 feet. Couple late trees to miss. This is one that you're hoping to get. But pretty strong wind as always. Common theme on this course, surprisingly. But I think it's a bit of a left to right, at least when we played it. So it kind of helps for the turnover to keep the disc moving to the left the whole time, kind of like that. But it's going to leave a tricky headwind
Yeah.
putt for Paige coming up.
Yeah, I would think you'd throw like a stable putter flat, let the wind push it right. If you throw something too flippy, it's just gonna push it way right, kind of like that.
Yeah, the wind kind of just got under that one. A little high out of the hand. You'd like to commit to a lower line on this hole, but
Yeah.
it's easy to also burn the disc over if you do that. So
Yeah, you see, oh, nice little kick out of that. But you can see Megan make the same mistake that Paige and Holly made with a little bit too much ante. Like, you just got to be able to trust it, and I know it's tough. It's tough to trust it.
yeah, let's see if yeah, a little high there from Irina. Yeah, that's the thing too, right? When you have that left-right wind and you put the disc on Anheuser, oftentimes it's just going to lift right out of your
Yeah.
hand. That's going to be a tester.
That. Yeah. Let's see what she can do with that.
Ooh, there's a run
Ooh,
from
nice little
Megan.
bid.
It's one of those things too, like a lot of times players, nobody practices laying up from 80 feet away, right? So then when you get up to it, it's just like, how hard do I need to throw this? Especially in a weird swirling wind, it's very easy to, kind of have a lapse in focus. As Paige comes up just short, have a lapse of focus and leave yourself a 20-footer when you'd really like to have that drop in, that 3-footer, like you mentioned earlier.
Right. See if Irina can make her layup not a problem.
Hmm.
Ah.
Just a bit off.
And look at this too. Like she had to run that putt, obviously, and now she has another tester coming back just because this wind is so brutal.
Yeah, nicely done there, though. Keeps the emotions in check, able to connect there, keep it to just a bogey. But yeah, it can get out of hand quick, if you're just putting back and forth, getting wind lifts left and right. A couple more pars for the rest of the card. Ain't too bad.
Mm-mm.
As we jump into hole 8, I think our first par 5 of the day at 708 feet off the tee, just looking to hit the gap right in front of you. Missed that bushy tree on the right. It's pretty open for the next couple hundred feet of fairway, and then you've got a couple of different options as you head in towards the green. There is a straight tunnel, there's a left tunnel. I don't think we'll see any players head out and around to the right, but you never know. This was basically straight headwind off the tee, so most of these players, I think, are throwing their most overstable disc, trying to fade just in front of that tree that Paige is going to find herself in.
Yep. And Holly kind of overcorrecting on that. Um, is it better to be over there than it is to the right? What's some of
Yeah, I
the
think. Well, the main thing is hit this gap, right? If you fade out
okay?
left, that's not a problem. There is OB right eventually. If you see that kind of open field out there in the distance, that is out of bounds. But yeah, the biggest thing
Ooh, and
is
that
to
does
hit the
hook up.
gap. Yeah, hooks up eventually, but that's not going to be a
She
fun lie.
lands, yeah, right on the base of the tree. She doesn't even have any, a little bit of wiggle room in there.
See if Irina can correct and get the stability right here. Oh, this looks perfect.
Oh yeah, and the skip.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah, that's a great shot. Plenty of open space out there in the field to the left, so she's in a pretty ideal spot. We'll see what our other players are working with. Holly, it looks like just a little high out of the hand, catches some cabbage there.
Yeah, two high releases in a row. Let's see if in a row. Let's see if she can correct off of that for her next one. And Paige with a weird from the knee. Was that like a patent pending from the knee? That was crazy. That was such a good shot.
Yeah, to bite off that much distance from that really awkward lie, not bad at all. She might honestly still have an outside look at getting up and down from the birdie from there. Nice shot from Megan as well. I'm thinking they're going to be in the 300 to 350 range from where they're at. I mean, straight headwind, so it's going to play a lot farther, but
Yes.
still doable. You can see the wind just whipping.
She looks like she went with the same disc. Oh, she just gets over on it a little bit and gets the nose into the ground.
Yeah, I like the height, right? Like you said earlier, you want to make sure the nose is down on these headwind shots, keep the disc low if possible, but yeah, it's also easy to just burn something over like that.
Yeah. Probably just overcorrecting a little bit. Missed that. Ooh.
Yeah, it worked out pretty
All
well,
right.
able to bite off a good amount of distance. Let's see if Paige can get a look here. Going turnover down the left-hand side. Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be a circle two look. I think Holly's going to line up this inside tunnel, probably somewhere around 300 feet into the basket from here, but just another
Man,
wind lift, just catches some more
that's
leaves.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. She threw that one. She threw that one pretty good, and yeah, the wind just took it up into the branches.
This line's looking
There's the
nice.
overstable.
Oh, and a nice straight skip as well.
Yeah, we'll see how close she is there. Maybe it won't be as scary of a putt as the rest of them.
Nice.
Holly content with a nice little tap in from there.
Yeah, we're gonna have some outside looks. We'll see how aggressive the players decide to get here, Megan. Playing that one pretty safe. Yep, sits down nicely.
Hmm.
Paige just a straight headwind putt from about 45 and just, yeah.
Ah, I thought she might give that one a bid, but no, she's good.
Oh, and
She's
Irina's
good at
drive
taking her
was
par.
way better than I thought. That's basically almost
Wow.
parked for birdie.
I mean, yeah. Even with like her second shot not being the greatest, she was able to correct and make a tremendous third shot to basically have a tap in.
You gotta just look at the flag.
You got to run this too.
Yeah, can't lay up a 15-footer, but definitely not a gimme. Might be closer to 18 or 20.
Good.
Just gotta make sure you
Nice
commit.
concentration.
Pop it out of the hand, get it there.
Hmm. I agree. You don't happen to change your putter every now and again when like do you stable up or you just stick with what you got?
I usually stick with what I got, but if I'm doing like a long putt in a headwind, I'll sometimes just like putt with my zone just so I know that
Yeah.
it's not going to turn over. But inside the circle, typically, just go with the bread and butter here. On hole 9, last hole, the front 9, we got a par 3 at 347. The drone is flying the left gap, which is if you have a power forehand, you can go that way. You can also go down the right-hand side, as we're going to see, I think, Irina attempt, but there is out of bounds there across the ditch. So you got to make sure this disc is moving on hyzer the whole way. Ooh,
Ooh, she hits one of the flags.
wow. Looks like that stayed in bounds, but yeah, that's the risk you take because again, straight headwind hole, so you need to really be able to trust your disc if you're going to go down the right-hand side. This is the safer route. Just catches some trees there from Paige, but I'm thinking the backhand down the left, I think, is more of a par play.
Nice solid forehand here out of Megan. I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised she doesn't throw more forehands off the tee. I know I said in the last one too. I think she's got a great forehand. Whoa!
Huge wind
Into the
lift.
abyss.
I might be a good shot. I don't know. We kind of lost it in the limbs there. Okay. So
Yeah.
Holly's got maybe 150, 200 feet or so.
Ooh, nice little skip back to the basket. Very good.
You can see how guarded this green is. So some tricky approaches. Paige kind of
Yeah.
leaks out to the right there. But yeah,
Yeah, I think she was trying to go to the left of those middle trees. Another forehand from Megan and dunk it.
nicely done. Yeah, I love those stress-free par tap-ins. And now we head to the other side of the fairway where Irina is. A little turnover forehand there. Give her a look to save the par.
Hmm. Jinx.
Tricky little putt there from Paige. Holly also a little straddle. Let's see if she's able to connect. Ah, tree just barely got in the way.
Yeah, there's just enough that if you land in a weird spot, you're gonna have to straddle around and having to go against your normal putt and deal with wind and the psychology behind it. There's a lot to think about.
Yeah, definitely. Even this is still a bit of a tester, but there's that nice, powerful spin putt from Holly, able to connect. Tough front 9 for these players in the conditions. Paige has kind of been able to battle and kind of limit the big numbers, pick up a bogey here and there where she can, but
Yeah.
nobody's playing clean, and that just kind of is testament
No.
to the wind and the tough conditions that we're seeing.
Yeah. That is a good par. That was the second hardest hole on the course.
Yeah, well done from Megan. As we take a look at the shot of the round, Paige Shue with the beautiful drive on hole 1, fighting the wind nicely.
Yeah. First shot of the day.
First shot of the day and a shot of the round contender. Thank you to the Norse gods for supporting this coverage, as well as the Patreon family. We appreciate it. Hop on over to Heiser Media for the back nine of this round 2 of the Down East Players Cup. We'll see you over there.